Hey friends, welcome to the Renewalism Show, episode 5. So we've had the last 4 days of intense activity with a lot of interesting guests talking about renewalism. But the main day was yesterday because we also launched the book. And if you want to grab your copy, it's available at renewalism.com, obviously. So there, I'm going to show that to you on the screen. And let me also show you what is renewalism for those of you who are joining in today. Renewalism is what's going to become a movement with the launch of this book. This book is about renewing ourselves at a level of the self, at a level of our interactions with others and with the planet, and how we interact with systems, and how each one of us, you, have a role to play in saving the planet. Why saving the planet, you might ask? Because we have seen in the last couple of months that a few changes in the way that we work, in the way that we behave, our habits, have brought the dolphins back in the water. The air is clearer, and so many other things that, like they say on WhatsApp, nature is getting back at us and teaching us the way. So it's not just about nature, it's about relationships, it's about mindsets, and all of that undergoes change with this set of 30 habits that the book Renewal captures. Interestingly, this book was written in December last year, way before the corona crisis, but it just became so relevant all of a sudden. So you grab a copy today so that you are able to be a little ahead of your peers in getting them to understand how renewalism can work in your communities. While you're on this session for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be joined by Mr. CK Arora. He's a coach and he's an expert in the subject of the midlife crisis. So here we have the COVID crisis and the midlife crisis. For those of you in the intersection, it must be really stressful. But participate with us. Drop in your thoughts and questions as we go about the next 15 minutes. And without further ado, then, let me invite Coach CK Arora with us. Now, he is from the University of Hard Knocks. He has gone through I Coach You're On. He has gone through life and he's gone through his own midlife challenges, which makes him such an expert. And I think that why we want to talk to him today is not only because we have issues, but because the book Renewal is also about a lot of midlifers. It's got a track which is a fiction track, which is also a little sinister. But what's leading the fiction track are these people who are in their 40s and who are kind of reinventing. So, to kick things off and to get your questions and thoughts coming in, I'd like to start with Coach on telling us a little about his reinvention and very short, how is what is the best approach to look at when you're in your early 40s? Over to you, Coach.
Hi Sandeep,
Hi.
thanks for inviting me as a guest for your
Yeah.
show and congratulations for your book. And
Thank you.
yeah, so while we are together, I must emphasize the need for us to reinvent ourselves at every age, not just the middle age, not just the midlife, or not just at a particular point of time or point of a particular stage of life, because we
Right.
are born with 7 trillion cells and each cell is reinventing. So we have no choice but to reinvent ourselves. We come across new experiences, we come across new knowledge, we come across new circumstances every day, and it is our ability to cope with those, and not just cope, thrive at every moment, that makes us young, that makes us renewed, that makes us reboot ourselves. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
I'm very
So true.
enthusiastic on the subject. Yeah, so the coincidentally, the topic of my book is also very similar, and it is called Midlife Reboot. Yours is Renewalism. So we are talking about similar things here, And I'm very enthusiastic, and I think that your book is launched, as you yourself said, at the very appropriate moment when everybody on the earth is talking about renewing themselves. The nature is forcing us to think, how we operate, how we were operating earlier. Like people were in the rat race, and
Correct.
now suddenly we are homebound. So we have found new
Correct.
ways of uh, 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 breaking the status quo.
But let me interrupt here, because some people consider themselves to be like, they were having a sense of comfort in that rat race, and suddenly they are
Mhm,
uncomfortable. Now,
mhm,
Guru Pranachandra, who channeled this book to me, he writes in this book that you've got to get out of your comfort zone. In fact, there is one particular habit I want to discuss with you, which is titled
mhm,
uh, value conscience over gains. Now, he says that this is the only
mhm,
habit in the book where he's urging you to, or he's demanding of you to get out of your comfort zone. And while everything else,
mhm,
you just blend in those habits. But where it comes to this aspect of conscience, and because I thought of asking you this because a lot of people, they start making compromises around their 40s because they start getting desperate,
mhm,
and that's where a lot of the issues start coming in society, because we are not so driven by our conscience that we are by desperation. We will cut the
mhm,
line, we will do things to get our way,
mhm,
because we suddenly get this feeling that there's not much
mhm,
time left. And at the same time,
mhm,
like you said, the people are comfortable with the rat race, and he says that you've got to get out of your comfort zone to start valuing conscience. So how do you
mhm.
respond to this about the comfort zone, getting out of it, and desperation, getting out of that feeling?
Yeah, absolutely true. um, I think what it comes to is the change management.
Right.
Nobody likes to change. So the only static, as they say, is the change. So you can't stop the march of technology, the march of virus, or the march of anything that goes on in the universe. So if you are also adapting yourself to the circumstances, you can not just survive, you can thrive. Okay. So like in the
Right.
midlife, what you need to do is you have to accept your body, the hormonal changes which are happening in the body. Okay. And because you know that it's going to happen, so better anticipate it, and better be equipped of how to handle the changes in the body. Similarly, when you are at the middle age, your teenagers are also your children are also at the teenager, they are at the teenage. So
Absolutely.
they are also going through the hormonal changes themselves. So you as a teacher, as a parent, become also a teacher, to equip not just your body, but you have to make your children also ready to equip themselves for the changes in their bodies.
Right. So what about the mind, the physicality? I agree, but like Minu is joined us. Hi, Minu. Good, nice to have you coming in on the show so regularly,
Hi,
and
Renu.
thanks for your participation. She says that midlife is the sweet spot for renewalism. That's true, and
Yes,
it's the moment of truth.
absolutely.
Now, I would like to expand on this. I would like you to expand on this. The moment of truth in terms of what's happening in the mind. Are you suddenly feeling that you are out of time? What makes people desperate?
Yeah, so I think it varies from one person to another. You know, I in my
Naturally.
own experience, I never felt desperate because we came with some expectations of what we need to achieve, right? Okay. So if
Right.
we are able to achieve
Exactly.
those goals, then there is no issue at all. There is, who says that we have to live here for 100 years? Okay. There
And
is
if
there is
not, that's
no
where the
age
issues come up.
defined by anybody. Yeah. So we should be. I mean, I have achieved a career, touchwood, that now anytime the calls from the nature come, I'm ready, because everybody has to go one day. So what is the need to be desperate? Okay. I don't feel any urgency. I don't feel any attraction towards the body also, that we need to keep the body within the soul, or the soul within the body. So because we are
All right.
eternal, body will change.
Well, you are a little more realized than the average person, because the average person at this point in time is looking over his shoulder and seeing that are they where they had imagined they would be when they got out of college. You know, like I was telling you, there is
Mhm.
this sinister track, slightly sinister, of fiction on in the book, and on this subject, there is this guy called Vikram Rana who who asks Guruji
Mhm.
this question, and I'm just locating that question so I can ask
Mhm.
it to you also. Um, just give
Mhm.
me a moment. He says that, yeah, uh, we have small lives and big dreams. If even one person can bend a rule to get an advantage, why must it not be me?
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
do you say?
Yeah. So we have to, we definitely need to create our own rules, as Mahindra says, make your own road, so so we must live
Mhm.
by own rules, and we have to define the rules which are harmonious with the nature, with the harmonious with the society, with the harmonious with they have to be harmonious with the law of the land. So within the frameworks, you need to create your own way of how you want to be happy, healthy, and creative, and at the same time contributing to society. You know, so everybody has to find a unique way, and we are 7 billion people on this earth, and each one of us has the right to decide what should be our path, and we have to create our find our path.
Right,
And that's
right.
what I do with my coaching clients, so I let them know what's their right path, you know through interrogation,
That's
finding their
fantastic. Uh,
yes.
No, that's fantastic, because when you have a coach to guide you, that's great. But when you don't, because there are so many people out of the 7 billion on the planet who are not your clients, or other people's clients either,
Hmm.
uh, do you think that,
Hmm.
like Kenna has just mentioned something? Thanks for joining in, Kenna. It's really nice to have participants joining in every day. It's so encouraging. Guys, please
Good.
write in questions so that we know you're here again. So she says that we need to be proactive and explore new habits, pretty much like what you were saying. But it hurts
Hmm.
to change, you know. So that's what Guru Pranachandra is also talking about. That this habit is going to get you out of your comfort zone because it's going to hurt. And
Hmm. Hmm.
what I'm looking for possibly is, how do I brace myself to accept that yes, it will hurt, but it's worth going through. It's worth pursuing my conscience. Otherwise, I'm going to have 7 billion standards of morals, right? So, it's one moral standard which works alongside conscience over petty gains that I may get. So, what he suggests in this section, in this habit, is that you go by the principle that whatever can be measured can be controlled, and measure how much you have this
Correct.
tendency to sway away from the universal moral barometer, so to say. Have you any thoughts on
Absolutely.
how this could be implemented? Because you're the practical guy.
Absolutely. So that's what I do with as a coach and mentor. So I create a long term vision and mission for each person. Like my mission on the earth is to create 1 million people who will be happy, healthy, and they will be also having a vision themselves of how to change the world. So whatever makes them happy has to be defined. Without any definition, they will have no definition of they will not achieve the happiness. So first you need to put down your goals, and once you put down your goals, you should be able to create a path for yourself. Okay, and if you are able to create a path for yourself, then you don't need a coach, obviously. So the best coach
Right.
is your subconscious mind. Ask the subconscious mind, what
Awesome.
is the purpose of my life, you know, why I'm here on this planet. If you get the answers to those questions, you have
Awesome.
created the path for yourself. And yes,
Absolutely. That's coming from the coach. That is so perfect, because now you have empowered people to get into an understanding of what gives them happiness, which is driven by their purpose. And in fact, there's an entire chapter on the subject of purpose and guidance on how to arrive at your purpose, which is so critical from a practical perspective, from somebody who's I'm telling this to the viewers. Mr. CK Arora is somebody who is extremely experienced and extremely well paid, if I may say, for his experience in guiding top performers and achievers into getting into that path and purpose. And here's a book that's going to be enabling you to do pretty much the same. Like he said, once you know the formula and where you're going, you don't need a coach. And that's a complete renewal for yourself, based on which, like he said, you can renew others. You can start giving purpose to others. Coach CK Arora, your purpose of 1 million people arriving at their purpose and moving others on the line is commendable. I salute you for
yes,
that. Fantastic. And it's great to hear that from you on this show. I look forward to the reboot also. When is that book coming out?
in couple of months.
The midlife reboot. Couple of months. All right.
Midlife
Great.
reboot will come
So
in
wish you all
mid
the
of
best
this
with
year.
that also.
Yeah.
Well timed. All right. So, for those of you who joined in late, the book Renewal is available at renewalism.com. It's available through Amazon. It's available directly from me. Just hop in on the site. You have all the links. And we're coming to a close of 20 minutes. So, Coach CK, if you would like to share some last words with our viewers, that'll be great. I don't have any further questions as I see at the moment. Over to you.
Yeah, yeah. So I would like to wish all the best to all the viewers of this show, and I want to wish Sandeep Nath also a very, I would say, a million copies sold, bestseller title given to you. That's my wish for you.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. May everything that you said be absolutely correct. So on that note, a million copies, starting with yours. Let's wind up today's show. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in, and see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock, same place, same page.